as well as possible, because they are currently, I don't want to say a wounded animal, but they are definitely a team that is coming off a loss that they didn't expect at the LAN, and they have lost Greasy. Supposedly, we'll see exactly how that plans out throughout the following couple of weeks, but if they can get a big performance here with Mystic, that can put all doubts to rest.
Absolutely, and Mystic to start off this game looking to sit a little bit further back, but I don't think that that's going to be the case moving on. I'm sure that they're going to be playing full rotation and a quick start. FlipSid are on the board. Cuxer with the first goal. Mystic on the back wall there, just cheerleading. Marky and Cux, the oldest and probably the most successful duo in Rocket League history, and there's the eyebrows, of course. We can't go one goal without eyebrow dancing from Marky Duda.
They are still the only duo still together from the RLCPL. Maybe even further beyond that. It has been ridiculous how well these guys have stuck together, and I did ask Marky about that during the interviews for the RLCS. Simple fact, Cuxer is just really good, and he wants to keep him. That
was the thing that brought them together in the very beginning, alongside Mike Rules. They were considered the 3 best players in the world, so they made a team together. And then Mike dropped off to focus on other things. Oh my god, that's a close one. I really didn't expect that ball to just roll across the entire goal. But Marky and Cux stuck together. They've always been in the conversation for some of the best players in the world. Just recently, though, starting to struggle a little bit more as other teams have improved and arguably been working harder, but whoa, oh my goodness, they would have had a 2-goal lead, but the Cuxer just saved Marky's shot. I don't know if that was intentional. And Marky, of course, comes back around and gets the poo goal. But I really don't I really don't know what happened previously to this.
All right,
when the save came in.
We'll try to ignore the fact that Cux is now playing for the other team. FlipSid find themselves 2 goals to the lead, and honestly, they have completely dominated so far. Full 80 seconds, I don't think any of it has really spent much time in the blue half of the field, and we are immediately back. Cux going to try and look for the angle, gets it off the backboard. Here comes the follow-up, and it really looks like Bob's Beans right now are terrified of FlipSid.
They're also not the only Beans on the field, it would seem, as Cux and Marky both having a fair share of Bean moments so far. Plenty time still for Mystic to join the Bean Brigade. This is very strong at the moment with 5 members.
You know, the moment he misses a really easy sitter, that's when he is officially confirmed for FlipSid.
That's when he's confirmed a Bean as well. You have to look out for that one. I do hope that it happens. The Bean recruitment service is in full force today. So something I'm very happy about.
Borge is not able to put too much pressure on as Marky's going to start pushing this down to the other end of the field. Almost up to the halfway point of this game. 2 minutes and 47 remaining. As Bob's Beans, we did see them play earlier. They didn't look that bad back then, but they were obviously given much more room to play in. As Marky is going to choose to leave that, he's got no pressure on him whatsoever, and it's the exact same problem for Bob's Beans. You can't expect FlipSid to make enough mistakes for you to just go down to the other end and score. You have to start moving.
Yeah, I do like that was a really smart half flip out of the fast aerial attempt from Marky. When he realized that he wasn't going to reach the ball, he just half flips away from it and then meets it on the ground. It kind of acts as a fake because people see him going up and then he half flips out and he's right back in position on the ground immediately after. Something that we see a lot more often these days. The fast aerial into the half flip recovery. Most often seen when a player realizes they're getting beaten to the ball. But occasionally when they realize that they're just never going to reach the ball in the first place because their flight path had the wrong airport takeoff. Just, you know, arrive at the wrong location to begin with. Oh, there should be a goal. What a save, actually. Marky able to recover. I did not think he was going to reach that one.
I know our travel over here was pretty bad. I didn't realize it was that bad. It was going to leave that much of an impression on you.
Oh, I've had some terrible experiences traveling recently. It took me 17 hours to get from Scotland to Jönköping. I'm sorry, everybody who's listening.
You're really testing fate with that, aren't you? Every single time you try.
Oh, team bump by Mystic and Marky. High five. Cuxer sees that happening. Backs off into Africa, pretty much. Not a bad shot from Mystic. Gets saved to the top corner. They're hanging on here still. Not over. This is game 1. 2 goals the difference. But FlipSid have definitely let off the gas a little bit. Credit to Bob's Beans for enabling this to happen. As Marky's spinning in circles. They're definitely having some fun with this, feeling very confident. And this could be a pretty stylish goal. The final flick just wasn't there for Marky.
Bob's Beans certainly need to get something together. Final 50 seconds has been entered, but they have struggled to leave someone down the other end of the field. So every single time this ends up happening, this exact situation, Marky And the rest of his team
What is
able
this?
to get the boost, but a double commit, and now Bob's Beans can start moving themselves forward. It is a boost race, and Kux just gets himself there in time. And a double commit will mean that this is over, and Kuxir can push this over to the side yet again. FlipSid, as you mentioned, have let off the pace a lot.
I think they might be playing a challenge here. There's been one FlipSid member on the Bob's Beans backboard for the entire last minute of gameplay. They're tag teaming on the backboard. Marky, nowhere to be seen in defense, because if we take a look at the Bob's Beans back wall, he's Spider-Manning up there. I don't know what this is, probably just a challenge that they've decided to play because they feel like this is a one-sided game, but now they put themselves in a situation where one kickoff goal would tie the game. So questionable antics from FlipSid.
See that, and
always willing to please the crowd.
FlipSid tactics, we see with a lot of teams as well, starting to just allow the ball to come into their own half for the kickoff. Not necessarily trying to win it, they consider winning it, the ball being in their half, in their possession. They can get boost and immediately try and play it away. And especially when you've got one goal, the difference with 17 seconds remaining, that can come up absolutely huge for you and waste a little bit of time. FlipSid tactics take game number 1. Hi, Marky. How are you?
Marky Duda looking for all the cameras in the building. Despite it only being a 1-goal difference, it did look very comfortable. Definitely the most one-sided 1-goal game that we've seen all day, with the only goal for Bob's Beans coming at the hands of some very aggressive positioning coming out of FlipSid.
I don't think, unless they get themselves out of the map, they are not getting more aggressive than that.
It used to be possible to leave the map. I don't know if it still is. There was some
no,
weird,
it was definitely patched quite a while back.
Was it? There was some weird interaction you could do by flying into the wall and flipping at a certain time to exit the map. Particularly Wasteland, I recall, was the one that was easiest to get out of.
Just in Utopia in the previous game.
Was it like that?
Literally the easiest thing in the world. You just get out and just start driving around.
Was there ever advantage that could be gained by this?
Absolutely none, apart from removing yourself from the gameplay entirely.
I'm sure that one day a patch will get released where the ball can get out the map. People can replicate it.
That happens a lot in SARP.
No.
Did
it really?
The ball would leave the map and it would respawn directly back in the middle of the field.
So there was a catch-all for that. It would just appear.
It would just immediately respawn back in the middle. I'm actually going to call out Marky on this. That happened, and they immediately scored on me during a tournament.
Really?
That was so cheesy, it was unreal.
Oh, did they do it on purpose?
No, I think it was me and Steve versus Marky and Doomsy. Or Marky and Bipod, and that ended up happening. They just took the goal. It was tied up at the time. I was so annoyed.
That's so funny. I would definitely not put that past Marky to be using cheeky tactics to gain advantage.
It's not cheeky, that's just shouldn't be happening.
We call it cheeky in Scotland. Oh, Mystic has heard Karma. He comes off the ceiling. Not really a shot, more of a clear ball, but expect to see more ceiling plays from him. It might look like just something that he's doing for style, but if he can continue to improve at that strategy, I really think that there's practical application for it, and it's superior to wall clears in many ways. Particularly the delayed dodge opens up so many new windows for clearing the ball past opponents.
That, and it is completely unchallengeable. You're already up in the air. No one's going to get up there in time to challenge you. You have free reign to completely get away, but you do also need a fair amount of boost unless you want the ball to just land on the halfway. As now Bob's Beans starting to look a lot more aggressive than they did in the previous game. But now they're going to have to try and deal with some offense towards their side. That's going to be pushed straight down towards an awaiting Kuxir.
Bob's Beans are looking much more ready for the FlipSid tactics,
Doink,
but
boys.
oh my word, is that goal of the day. Kuxir coming across the ball, doinks it backwards.
Oh no, he's jumped. It doesn't count.
No, you don't count that?
Doinks do not count if you do another jump.
No dodge.
No dodge.
Only vertical jumps, but that was still
sublime
from Kuxir.
It was good, but it wasn't
no
doink.
It was sublime. That was a shot that completely caught poor Bob's Beans off guard. An angle that most would think impossible, and now the pass from Kuxir to Marky. Little grin on the Italian's face. He knows that he has played pretty well for the previous 30 seconds.
Yeah, as soon as that ball landed right next to him, he knew Marky was behind him. He would have had the shout come straight out in towards his ear. And Marky will not miss those, puts it straight into the top corner. And once again, FlipSid Tactics have put themselves 2 goals in the lead, just like they did in game number 1. And still plenty of game left to play. It's Mystic, and it has actually happened. He is definitely playing in that back role, which Greasy also did play in. So we have got an answer to that question. Just how well he does in that position, though, will be answered when they take on, I'd say, tougher opponents in the future.
Mystic certainly has some strengths that play into that role very well. His wall play is phenomenal. He is so comfortable clearing the ball, especially because he, almost more than anybody else, can use the ceiling to help him get those hard clears, delaying dodges to get it over the top of defenders. So it's almost never going to be awkward for him on the back wall, which is one of the things that can plague last men back if they're just not confident in their back wall clears. But will he be able to make successful challenges on the ground? Will he be able to stall to give Marky and Kux the time to get back and help him? That will probably be answered later on in the tournament. But here we see Mystic so comfortable. One touch on the wall, and then he immediately turns around and carries it over to the defender. We will expect to see a lot of that if he continues to play the defensive role. Far flip side, and it looks like it might not even be necessary to help Kux and Marky up front, because right now Kuxer is playing pretty well.
Yeah, Kux just immediately finds it, puts it behind Bob Skywalker. I will criticize Bob on his rotation there, though. Needed to come in from a much larger angle.
He was worried about the top left corner.
Maybe.
Kuxer threatening so many different angles there, but really smart by Kuxer, spotting the goalkeeper coming across, putting it behind him. So even if there was going to be a clear ball, it wouldn't have been a boomer, that's for sure.
So 4 goals up now.
Here's the stalling from Mystic. How's he going to do in this situation? No boost mine. And now that he does make a mistake, and there's another mistake, first time that we've seen the opportunity for Bob's Beans. It does go astray though. But there we did see a small mishap from Mystic.
Marky is taking this ball. Okay, you know how earlier on Karma said Mystic's going to need to try and force himself onto this?
Yeah.
Marky just came straight over, but I do believe Mystic was completely out of boost there.
I think this might just be banter as well. Marky just saying mine and taking the ball for no reason.
So Marky gets taken out of the play entirely. For Skywalker, he's got players on the other side of the field to aim for, but it was just too close to the opponents. And right now, Bob's Beans just struggling for anything to hold on in this series. They've still got 4 goals that need to find 100 seconds to do it in. But with touches like that, where it's basically just coming straight back to Mystic, who can continue to play it away. And this is the most important part of the play for a third man, is your ability to carry, and he's done it very well. Almost getting a ricochet shot off that backboard.
It might be a counter-attack goal.
It's going to be the same as last time.
Should have been, and it will. Almost getting denied by the post. You can see the relief there on Bob's Beans' faces as he thought that he'd missed this open net. PogChamp squeezes it in. But it might be a little bit too late, as FlipSid have definitely shown up more to Game 2 than they did in the previous game. And they've decided to play a little bit more seriously, I think. There's still plenty of time for them to bring their cheeky antics, as Kuxer with a back pass off the wall.
Marky.
Fake by Marky. Woody would be proud.
Would he be very proud? He wouldn't be so proud of the fact that these guys might actually end up playing against each other later on. I believe Woody was talking about them scrimming earlier, which didn't go so well for Team XL.
He said it was closer than their games against Diffused Boys.
That might just be the stage.
Yeah,
honestly,
perhaps.
Woody is a very introverted individual, to say the least. As Kuxer is going to put that one straight down.
It could be a stylistic thing as well. I feel like with the bullying style of Diffused Boys, just denying boost constantly and pressuring so far up the field, and if those hard clears never come in from their opponents, they never really get punished for that. The flip side, they don't really play that bullying strategy so much.
I see like the smallest of all writing. I see a 7 on Cooks' DreamHack shirt, but I can't see the rest of it because he's covering it all up with the jacket. Yeah,
one of them will be swinging by for an interview, I'm sure, so we'll be sure to get them to show off their jersey, their homemade jersey. And they're Marky with a not a good clear there. It's quite characteristic of him. One of his mistakes that keeps coming back to haunt him is these soft clears off the back wall, which is one of the reasons I think Mystic might fall into that role a little bit better. Double fake kickoff, Mystic on the cheat. That is the counter to the fake. Bar down and out though. We've been seeing these all day. One of the hardest bounces to follow up on. But 3 goals still the difference, and only 20 seconds left. FlipSid will be taking this in 2-0. It is a best of 3 like every other game today. And FlipSid are certainly playing. Marky is the big man right now. He's sitting up front, saying, pass the ball to me, you see me. But it won't matter. I don't think we're going to have consolation or celebration goals. 5-2, looking like it will be the score. And that will be A loss for Bob's Beans for the second time on stream, and the first time we get to see FlipSid at DreamHack Summer, and not the best, but also not the worst performance from them.
Yep, certainly was not, but they were given no space to work with. Boost was always taken from either side by Cookser and Marky on their rotation straight back. No boost means you can do absolutely nothing around the pitch, and it is going to be an easy win at the end of it for FlipSid Tactics. But Bob's Beans, you saw the smiles from them earlier.